Sean Clark here, with an installment in how to play Dust in the Wind and how I am successful in having students coming, even brand new students with no musical background, coming bare bones to the guitar with no experience whatsoever, how I'm able to break down the song Dust in the Wind and make it sensible to students and accessible to students who practice a half an hour a day, 5 days a week, within anywhere from perhaps 8 to 12 weeks of playing. Just depends upon the motivation and the drive of each particular student. So the first thing we do is to talk philosophically about the way I teach is we're just dealing with the right hand now. So we've really kind of chopped off half the guitar in a sense. And on this guitar, you'll notice that I have taken off the high and low E strings, leaving only the A, D, G, and B strings. Because even in the entire song, Dust in the Wind, there's only perhaps a dozen notes that even use those E strings, and not a single one of them is in the introduction. So here's how I do this. There is a repetitive picking pattern in the right hand, and this is that picking pattern. And you'll notice I have words associated with it. Outside, inside, outside, inside. And that's how I have students actually count the rhythm. And it just goes like this. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. With each snap corresponding to a note. The first note is a quarter note and the rest are eighth notes. Outside, inside, outside, inside. That's how you count this piece of music for every measure of the entire piece. Now, what does that outside and inside mean? Well, on these 4 strings you're using, these 2 are the outside strings, these 2 are the inside strings. These 2 strings are played with the thumb, the G string is played with your index finger, and the B string is played with your middle finger. So all you do is you start off real slow, counting that rhythm, just like this. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And since we all have to run a race if we want to cross a finish line, I encourage students to play that very slowly as they need to go to play it evenly. That's what's real important. Don't worry about speed. Don't try and crank it out on your first day. Go as slow as you need to go to make sure it's real even. I don't care if a student comes back after the first week of practice doing it like this. Outside, inside, outside, inside. All I'm looking for is evenness. That's it. And then you slowly pick up the speed as you become comfortable with it. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside. Whoops. Outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And it takes a week or two, suddenly you got the right hand down. It's that easy. That's how you play the introduction to Dust in the Wind in the right hand. Real easy, right? A monkey could do it with enough practice. That's all for now. Next video we're going to begin dealing with the left hand. Thanks for checking in.